Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ameritech Talks. I'm Christina, Growth and Community Manager at Ameritech, where we bring together bold voices and breakthrough ideas to support Ukraine's tech future and global innovation. Today's episode is called From Code to Courage, and it's one I've been especially looking forward to. We're joined by two incredible guests. First up is Bogdan Perich, co-founder and CEO of EverREST. Bogdan, nice to have you here. Would you like to tell us more about your background?
Sure. Hi, guys. Hi, Christina. Hi, Greg. Thank you a lot for introduction. Thank you for having me. So, shortly about me, I started my career as Salesforce expert a long time ago. I ended up my career as Salesforce architect, who was responsible for managing projects for Fortune 500 customers. But in those years, I understood that my role doesn't align with my knowledge and my understanding of the business requirements, and I decided to go forward to initially start my own consultancy because I saw the gap there between the technical teams and business requirements, and I decided to do it a bit different. So here I am.
So nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. And alongside Bogdan, we're welcoming Greg Ross, the founder and CEO of Ameritech, whose mission to connect Ukraine's brightest engineers with US partners is the heartbeat of everything we do. Greg, thanks for being here.
Hey, what's up, Christina? Hey, Bogdan. Thanks for joining us. I'm really excited to have this conversation with both of you and really excited to hear Bogdan's thoughts and opinions on AI and how we're using AI. This is really exciting stuff. Thank you again.
Absolutely. I've prepared some wonderful questions in my humble opinion. So, Bogdan, let's start from the beginning. You are known for optimizing systems, scaling fast growth companies, but what's the story behind EverREST and what made you step into this space?
Okay, thank you. Great question. So basically, the story behind is that I pretty early discovered that there's a huge gap between the business and between the technical teams, and that didn't give me ability to feel myself relaxed. So I was always thinking like there should be a workaround, there should be a ways to initially to make it in a different way, and I was like looking for that all time long. uh, and at some point I understood that I just need to do something about that. I cannot think about it anymore. I just need to start changing the world, changing the things, and changing the approach in the consultancy and development industry. And the right path for that, of course, was to start something on my own, attract the first customers to validate my idea, and keep rolling. So that's how Everest was born.
That's such a strong foundation, and you can feel the purpose and you built this. And I love that. And I love that it started with solving real problems and not just chasing trends. So, and you've been leading a team in Ukraine during an active invasion, something most tech CEOs could never imagine. What has the experience taught you, and what it taught you about leadership, resilience, and staying focused?
Okay, great question. So basically, first of all, to find people who are driven by same passion as me, who have the same values and culture fit to me and my team, because I find Everest part of me, of my life, of myself. That's something that will stay very, very long, even after me. So I believe that was like the most important and remains the most important thing for me. It's the people, the culture that we built inside. Even nowadays, when we doesn't have this office culture, we work uh, across the world. Let's say like that. So that's the first thing that I always try to figure out if the person has the cultural fit for for me and for my team. And working with people who have that similar spirit as me is something that also very motivates me, because when I see when people bring ideas to the table, when they are very proactive, that's something that you understand you're doing the right thing. So that's something that makes me really, really proud about me, my team, and let's say my people.
So, where were you when the invasion happened? Were you in Ukraine when the soldiers started coming across the border there with Belarus? And I'm really curious. I'm not sure that you and I have ever talked about this, but where were you that day when the invasion started? And do you have a memory of that day? Something that stands out in your memory?
Okay, interesting. Let me think about it. So I remember I was traveling from Kiev to Ukraine, to Lviv, sorry. And in the road trip, on the radio, I discovered that initially the war starts, and that road to home was like very, very, uncommon for me, because I was very surprised that something like that more can happen. And it was very stressful moment, because you had like so many different thoughts, like what to do next, what the war initially is, what does it means, what to do next. And on that time, I was not prepared at all, to be honest, because people were saying, hey, that something might happen, there might be a war, but I was 100% calm about that before initial war, because for me, as like for tech enthusiast, for like AI fan, something like that in the center of Europe was like very unexpected. So that's something that initially made me feel very, very nervous. uh, I also remember those few early like days and months of the in war when it happened. It was initially to support people, because we had teammates from different parts of Ukraine, and a lots of them were requiring us to support them with relocation to Lviv. So that's something where my focus was initially, to assist our teammates to have like a safe and warm place. We were landing them in our homes in Lviv. So to initially to stay together on those early stages. And I also very keen on my team, especially my co-founders, who were also communicating with our customers. Like all the time, they were on the phones with them. They were like saying like what's happening in Ukraine and what's going on. And I also saw that even on those hard times, uh, the people uh, keep like deadlines mm, not pushed. They continue working. They join the calls with the clients. They keep the deadlines in the safe mm, measure. They didn't skip any tasks or something like that. And that's something that I was also very, it was very unexpected for me, that people keep the business rolling. And it's not only in our company, but in general. A lot of Ukrainian businesses keep running through those hard times. And it's something that also was very unexpected for me. What else changed? That's initially how I met the war and how it surprised me, what's happened there. During those
Thank
times
you.
of the war, one more thing. So during those times, after the war starts, we also from changed our agendas for the meetings. And instead of like starting meeting from and conversation with the teams from like what's the status of this task, we started the agenda from like, are you safe? are your family safe? Okay, then let's get to business if we are okay.
Wow.
uh, because it's like it's war, right? I don't want to talk about nothing negative, but everything might happen. So
Yeah.
first of all, we all are human, and that's why humanity is the top priority.
Yeah. Thank you, Bogdan. I know that's not easy to share, but I think it's really important for people to hear and understand, especially those of us who are not in Ukraine, to understand what that was like and the experiences that you went through. Not just you, but a lot of innocent Ukrainian people. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much.
Yes, and that gives chills. And it's amazing how strong Ukrainian people are and how it all coexists together. And thanks so much for sharing it. Yeah. So let's jump into next question, maybe a little bit more tech specific for us to kind of compose ourselves. So you've integrated AI into Salesforce workflows for clients around the world. So how has AI opened new doors for your team, and what skills are you encouraging your developers to build as this technology evolves?
Oh wow, that's initially great question. So first of all, we should jump into the AI with all power, because I strongly believe that's the future. And ignoring AI nowadays, it's something that we should stop right away and start discovering ways how we can work with AI, how we can work in AI sphere, how AI can empower us as the users, as the business, as the students, and whoever you are. And we personally, we try to follow the trends as much as possible. So we are very proactive, I believe, in this sphere, and we are encouraging our teammates to be advanced users of even like simple AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, or anything, right? So we are always very proactive in this, and we are always making sure our team passing different courses, certificates, new trainings to uh, execute their operations more efficient with AI, because it helps a lot. It saves tons of time, and it increased the productivity very, very, very much. And nowadays, I also see that our role shifted a bit from starting from the blank page. We can go to the AI, ask some questions, get some ideas, format it a bit, and then already your goal is initially to verify that results are expected and they aligns with what you wanted to get. So it's also a bit changed the way we work nowadays. From the Salesforce perspective, I see huge opportunities there, especially in working with huge amounts of data or smart AI automations. We recently had very interesting project where we analyzed the call recordings in Salesforce. And based on those call recordings, we were suggesting the support agents the correct article from the company documentation. So it was pulling on the screen in the real time. So if customer asks you the question, you were getting answers in the real time based on the transcription. So such projects like a few years ago still would be something that you will think it's impossible to do, but nowadays it's like very, very common thing as for me. And empowering your teams with AI is must have. And sales, marketing, and operations, that's something that should also use AI nowadays, especially in Salesforce, where it's very easy to use.
Totally agree. That's gold. And I love the emphasis on augmentation, not just automation, and that it's about empowering people, not replacing them.
Correct.
So, you're working with teams and clients across borders, as you mentioned. And what have been the biggest mindset shifts for you as a Ukrainian founder leading global projects? And how do you keep everyone aligned while growing fast?
Okay. Great question. So first of all, what I wanted to do, I wanted to thank our American partners for the support and all-time long support during this war, for Ukrainians, for our soldiers, and for even businesses they work with. That's something that is very much appreciated, and that's something that helps Ukrainian to have food on the table. That's the first thing I wanted to start with. Other than that, my personal mindset changed a lot after I saw this amount of the support, when even American businesses started asking us, like, how are you guys? Are you okay to work? Are you safe? And those questions felt also very supportive. And they helped us in some kind to not lose in person, to don't lose yourself, because it was very, very stressful, right? And their warm words, not only warm words, but especially warm words, helped people to keep going, to don't give up. That's something that initially I see. Other than that, from the mindset perspective and from the operational, I see that now me and my team, a lot of our team members were forced to leave Ukraine and relocate across the globe. So some of them are in Poland, me especially, and some of them are across the Europe. We also have some American teammates, but we still have Ukrainians, people who are in Ukraine, and we keep trying to hire more people in Ukraine to initially help them to be in the right position on the job market, to help them land a job, to connect them with the American business, and make sure they not left without the opportunities. So that's something that me as Ukrainian, I'm trying to do as much as possible, and I always try to close any job, any role first with people who are in Ukraine, because I believe they need support the most.
Yes. Bogdan, I just want to have a point of kind of elaboration here. Christina mentioned that you manage global projects, but I think for the people watching this, they might be thinking, well, what kind of global projects? Can you tell us a little bit about the types of Salesforce projects that you work on, just kind of the categories? And I understand EverREST is kind of like an ecosystem where you have a lot of talent that's working for you and with you. So if you could share a little bit about the kinds of resources that you have there too, I think it would be great. Maybe, in 2 minutes or so, what kinds of projects you work on within Salesforce and what kinds of talent you have access to.
Okay, sure. Great question. So basically, how we typically help clients, there are a few key ways. First of all, we focus on end-to-end Salesforce implementation projects where businesses doesn't have CRM yet, or they have CRM but it doesn't fit their needs, or they already too big for the old CRM and they're trying to find something new. So that's something where we help them, where we start from the consultancy, from the business analysis, and then we come up with the Salesforce instance that will fit their specific needs. The other type of projects that we do is initially when people are already using Salesforce, but they just feel overwhelmed. They tired of those like miscommunications, or they have a lot of the ideas that they would like to have in Salesforce, but for some reason they doesn't have it yet. So that's something where we come up with our team and initially help them to make sure that Salesforce grants them high ROI. And the final one, which is my favorite type of projects, is where people would like to start utilizing AI in Salesforce. That's something that I initially keen on, and where I personally take part in such kind of the projects to initially automate some repetitive tasks with AI. Those are like key projects that we focus on as a team. Uh, our team contains more than 2,000 fully vetted Salesforce experts across the globe. So we are empowered by our talent network, who we vetted personally. We collected them, interviewed them, and engaging with them on the everyday basis, and making sure to introduce them to the correct projects where they can do a difference.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned AI within Salesforce. So Salesforce obviously has its own native AI functionality, right? They've been developing it for a while. But
Yeah,
does your team also do work with AI agents and outside, like external AI, integrating it with Salesforce? Is that something you can do as well?
absolutely. So basically, there are also other kind of projects where people would like to build some agentic AI that might
Hmm.
be connected to their Salesforce instance and to automate like some small task, because they might be lower budgets rather than building something standalone. Uh, on the other hand, we also help companies to build standalone AI products that later on can be integrated with Salesforce. So, for such cases, when any out of the box or pre-built solution is not a fit here, our team can architect, design, and develop the standalone platform with custom LLMs that will do specifically actions required for your type of business or your specific request. And as the next step, we can almost natively integrate it with the Salesforce. So your users will even never know that they're working with a separate platform. It will be embedded very, very organically into the Salesforce.
Nice, nice. Thank you, Bogdan, so much for elaborating. I think that's really helpful for the viewers that are watching this.
And on this note, I have the favorite question of our viewers in our community. So, what does the future of AI look like to you personally, and what excites and concerns you the most?
So I believe that future of AI is very powerful, and I strongly believe that we are going to use it even more than we're using it now. And a lot of the softwares or services that we are using nowadays will change a lot in very near future. Even though the CRMs as we know them today are gonna change completely, uh, because the future is almost here. And even in Salesforce, we already have ability to dynamically generate content on your web page with various dashboards, reports, lists, and so on. So instead of you going and building this some any reports from scratch, you just ask AI like, hey, give me all leads like for Q4, where we see that potential of closing is like 90%. Boom, you got a list and you just go and dial them. Also, imagine planning your week with AI in Salesforce. You just have your phone, you just ask your AI agent, uh, please review my calendar and create for me short summary of the calls and meetings I'm going to have this week. You got the result from the AI, and then you ask him another question or take an action, right? So you can ask him, send all of them the follow-up email to confirm we are meeting with them this week. So such repetitive tasks, they are already very easy to automate, and I believe uh, we are very nearly to the stage where CRMs are gonna change completely. But from positive perspective, of course. But with great power comes great responsibility. So there also might be negative side of things. So regarding using AI in negative cases where we might use them like for scraping or some kind of the autonomous bot who is ready to break any website. He works 24/7 without any day offs or sick leaves, which is a bit strange as for me. But yeah, we should be very, very careful with that. But anyway, there's no point for me, from what I can see, to not using AI nowadays. And yeah, I believe that's something that everyone should start using right away if they didn't start using it yet.
Yes, thanks so much. That's such a powerful vision. And you capture both that promise and that responsibility. So I think that's exactly the mindset we need right now. Greg, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You work closely with Ukrainian founders like Bogdan, and what stands out to you about how they're navigating the intersection of resilience and innovation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I've been in software and technology for 20 years, but prior to the invasion happening, I had never done business with Ukraine or worked with Ukrainian companies or really done anything inside of Ukraine. I knew Ukrainian people living here in America, but just casually as friends. So when I traveled to Ukraine and I met in person with founders like Bogdan, I was really, really impressed and blown away by two things: the quality of work that they bring to the table, which I think Bogdan, Ukraine has a reputation for quality. Anywhere you go in the world, you
100%.
talk to people, they will always tell you Ukrainian firms deliver high quality. They take their work seriously. The second thing, aside from the quality, is the expertise. So I was able to find 24 firms that were in the top 10% of quality and expertise globally in a number of different categories. Bogdan is our Salesforce expert, and I've been working with Salesforce teams for 20 years, and I never have run into an organization that had as much expertise in Salesforce when it came to difficult integrations, workflows, implementations. These guys are on a whole nother level. So for me, it was easy to attach my reputation to theirs because they make me look good. When they get on calls, when Bogdan joins me on a call with a US organization, there's a wow factor 100% of the time. People are so impressed. And he does a great job of researching their needs, coming up with plans and implementation phases and product management phases, and just having an organizational strategy. So I really like that about the Ukrainian firms that we work with. And I would say that's one of the best kind of selling points for them to work with US companies. But aside from that, Christina, as you know, Ukrainian culture is very similar to American culture. When you go to Ukraine as an American, you hear American music playing in the cafes when you're drinking your coffee. A lot of people speak English and speak it really well. Communication works really well with between Ukrainian firms and American firms. There's a great culture fit. So I think it just, Ukraine stands above a lot of other countries that you could turn to, for support with your tech and your software. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks so much. So, the bottom line, our listeners, viewers, and everyone needs to shoot first. Consider working with Ukraine, and second, should absolutely visit Ukraine. So, if anything you will bring out of this conversation, that is that you have to come to Ukraine. Okay, let's wrap up with a quick fire round. So, just go with your gut, Bogdan, okay? First question. One piece of advice for a young Ukrainian developer starting out.
Okay, so basically, if you're a young developer who trying to proceed in your career, first of all, you need to be very proactive, and you need to take a look how everybody trying to land a job, and then try something completely different. Try to take a look from completely different view. Also, the other option, not other but additional option, is try to find a mentor. Try to find somebody who already succeed in this sphere, and ask him to be your mentor, to help you, to guide you on what you should know before landing in the job, how to pass the challenges that you might face. And this is something that will allow you to move much more faster rather than making that alone. And final is try to find communities of people who have similar interests, because that's something that will help you to grow much more faster and learn interesting things and take a look into the uh, challenges and problems from another angle.
Great, thank you. 2, one AI tool you're excited about right now.
Good question so far. I'm excited about AI note takers. It's like, very simple stuff, but it saves like so much time, and helps me to avoid sitting with my notepad and my pen and making all those notes, and even calls with partners, with teams, with customers. You can now say a lot without making sure you note it, because AI do it for you.
Okay, thank you. And 3, your go-to coffee order for a day of deep work.
Oh,
Uh, that's the easy one. Black coffee, no sugar.
Wow.
wow. Okay.
Okay, Greg, yours?
I was introduced to something called a Spanish latte, which I thought was really good. I had a good friend that used to make them. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with the Spanish latte, Google it and try it. You'll thank me later.
I thought as a true American, you should have told us a pumpkin spice caramel latte.
PSL for life. What's your favorite coffee drink, Christina? Let's put you on the spot for a second. What do you like to drink?
Mine is salted caramel latte. Always to go.
Oh,
That's
yes.
something that is I've actually handpicked it to me. I vetted it for me. So that's the one I like the most. And thanks for asking. It's nice to be
Perfect choice.
interviewed as well.
Perfect choice.
Okay, I love it. And especially our latte conversation because we can't build the future on an empty cup, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Bogdan, thank you for sharing your story and for showing us that courage and code go hand in hand. And Greg, thank you for continuing to create pathways for this kind of leadership to reach the world stage.
My
To everyone,
pleasure.
to everyone listening, especially our AGI learners and Ukrainian engineers, this episode is your reminder that where you are doesn't limit where you can go. So keep building, keep believing, and keep leading with heart. Until next time, stay bold, stay connected, and stay AI tuned.